Hello and welcome back to another session where we can enjoy the relaxed learning state known as hypnosis. In this program, we are going to learn how to let go of problems. Problems that we think are problems so often that the thinking about the problem becomes bigger than the problem itself. And this is such an easy step to take that automatically brings us closer to the solution we really desire. And as you listen to the music and the words and the spaces between the words, you find yourself breathing easily, taking even deep breaths and releasing them long and slow, allowing the tension to leave your body as your head relaxes upon your neck, pulling your shoulders forward, and each breath releases more tension from your chest and stomach, so that it rushes down and through your thighs into your calves and out the bottom of your feet. And we know that relaxation itself is a simple way to release stress that causes us to think that our problems are bigger than they really are. And we use the peaceful state we acquire in hypnosis to look freshly anew at our challenges and approach them in a positive frame of mind. And you may find yourself drifting. Many people report that they fall in and out of sleep as they listen to these programs, and that is fine. You will find that every half hour spent in one of these programs feels like several hours of restful sleep, where you awaken totally recharged and ready to handle your responsibilities. And when it comes to thinking about problems, or thinking about problems, let us consider what happens when we begin to identify as someone with a problem. It means that we tell people, after we tell ourselves, that we are such and such. And by calling attention in this manner, we are inviting people or really asking them to give us some sort of special consideration. And this kind of self-sabotage is something you can eliminate simply by ceasing to label yourself. And so the first thing we want to acknowledge is that whatever labels we have affixed to ourselves should be removed, both internally and externally. And you may be able to see an image of yourself covered in yellow sticky notes, and each of them has something written on it, something you used to identify with and now find is no longer useful. And as you hear the music gently blowing through your mind, you can imagine that each of those yellow sticky notes is fluttering on your body and gradually is released. And as you see those labels fluttering and floating away, you let them go, knowing that they no longer serve a need. And as each of these flutters away, you find yourself standing there unlabeled, simply a person living a life with the same challenges everyone experiences, and more important, ready to face those challenges without any handicaps, any notions of what's possible, especially for you. Now that you have released these sticky concepts that kept you perhaps frozen, unable to move in the past, as the music and the wind has driven these away, you find yourself enjoying a new range of motion, both emotionally and physically. And as you move, you may find that one of those yellow sticky notes attempts to flutter back down onto your shoulder, and you gently turn your head and blow it off. Very easily and calmly, because you're confident enough to move forward without thinking about the problem. And you have the courage to move forward and forge a new identity as someone who is constantly seeking solutions. You know, each pattern of behavior is slightly addictive. In the past, we may have been addicted to identifying with problems, and you know how that felt. And so you want to move forward, and the first few times you identify with being a problem solver, someone seeking solutions, it is like learning a new dance step, and you stick with it because it's so fun to master an elegant movement such as a dance, being graceful and slightly aggressive and sexy and beautiful, all in the same motion. And as you continue to practice and get the inevitable rewards of solving problems, you become slightly addicted to being a problem solver. And that's okay, in its proper measure. And we can do so without labels. Simply because we enjoy solving problems. And you realize, with wisdom, that there was much time wasted holding on to problems, and you can use this wisdom simply to avoid ever doing it again. And you may find that the people you used to associate with who were also identifying with problems, they may miss you, and rather than discussing it in words, you are content to show them your results in action. And several of them will find those yellow sticky notes falling away and join you in seeking solutions and learning new dance steps. As you know, in hypnosis, where we are deeply relaxed, sometimes falling into a light sleep, we focus on learning new approaches, seeking solutions, offering suggestions and ideas that lead one from another, because there's no benefit to talking about problems after the initial diagnosis, which always remains important in its proper place. Of course, you want to know exactly how things are not working, and often why, in order to be able to find the solution. And you will find, as you solve more problems, that ever more interesting challenges will arise. And as you greet them as puzzles or riddles or equations to be taken apart, you will find your skills and your confidence increasing, so that very soon you are the go-to person for challenges, and your stature grows mostly because it has already grown on the inside, where you've done the preliminary work necessary to meet challenges on the outside. And this is such a dynamic way to live. You will find yourself having more energy and meeting interesting people. People who are always there, waiting to meet you. As soon as you became the person oriented towards solving problems. And so, the humor here is that as you release problems, especially the habit of identifying yourself as a problem, which even now seems like a distant memory, that you will indeed be given the opportunity to solve bigger problems. But because you no longer take them personally and greet them as a competent, capable person, you simply can set about solving whatever situation presents itself. And it is very much like getting in shape. Over a period of months, where you do the hard work first, and then the outer acknowledgement begins to flow. And since you have spent time doing the internal work necessary, you can accept those compliments gracefully, with appreciation, and the kind of humility that is able to teach, mostly by example. Because we know that if one person starts complaining, how quickly that becomes a party. And at the same time, when one person gets to work, how quickly everyone else joins in the much more enjoyable team effort of solving the particular problem. And so, this program is one that you can return to again and again for any in a wide range of situations, simply because the idea has wide application. You can use it for many things that plague ordinary people, people who have not been taught that they can meet a challenge without it meaning anything about themselves as human beings. And so, when you return, you can do so with a particular situation in mind. And as you drift and relax, you will find that the solution will often present itself to you right in the middle of the program or after you leave, sometimes even right at the outset. And that's not a problem at all, because you can always hit pause, put the solution to work, and then return, simply for the benefit of relaxation. And so now I will leave you with the music and your relaxation and whatever you're working on, because I know that you will find the solution, because you are already